Did you know that the average age a child sees an explicit content or pornography for the first time is age 11? I know you might not be shocked. And now combine that with the current TikTok trend, Snapchat videos, Instagram videos, YouTube challenges that we now have these days. Imagine there was time that there was this silhouette challenge where a lady would just go naked on videos. Some on TikTok lives, they're actually naked on their TikTok lives. And you now keep asking yourself that, are we raising a misguided generation? Are we raising a generation that don't understand that some things are meant to be kept private and some things can be done openly? This is the conversation we're going to be having in today's video. So hi guys, welcome to my channel. It's your girl Precious Oyeleke. Today we're going to be talking about the role or the impact of explicit content on adolescents and young persons. What's pornography, the social media, and how it's affecting young people. So are we raising a misguided generation? Let me first ask you this question. Go and drop your comments down below before we now deep dive into this conversation. So the intersection of pornography and social media and adolescent developments are all interwoven. You see a lot of adolescents these days that they keep to themselves. They begin to show signs of people that consume explicit content such as isolation, depression. They feel like, oh, they want to practice these things and they don't mind practicing on their friends, on their siblings. That's to tell you that sometimes that's why we're having like increase in rate of sexual abuse, sexual assault, because they feel like they want to practice those things they are seeing there, forgetting that all those things they are watching are scripted. All those things they are watching are not supposed to be consumed by them. And we keep having young children that begin to be like, oh, let me explore these things, let me try what this older person is doing. Since he can do it, it means I can. And they don't know that they can't do these things. So sexual behaviors and attitudes are increasingly shaped by what young people consume online. People's mind, people's culture, people's way of life is being controlled by what they consume on this digital media. And it's high time we start regulating, it's high time the government also puts their mouth in regulating, and actually beyond regulating, also like putting steps and measures in place to properly regulate these platforms. Even these platforms now doing such a way that if you're not 12 years old, you cannot open an account, or maybe you're not 11 years old, you cannot open an account. And if the account is open, it has to be opened by an older person so that at least consent will be gotten from them. So I believe that sexual behaviors are learned, sexual attitudes are learned, and some of these risky sexual behaviors are sometimes learned from consuming explicit content online. Parents, schools, and even governments are also struggling to keep up, because when you're trying to mitigate and manage these issues, it's happening sporadically. An average young person either has access to the internet on their own devices, or they have a friend that has a device in which they can access this content. So on social media space, the people they are following, they are role models, they are celebrities, the people that they idolize are people that practice these things, are people that the way they dress explicitly. You now even see them selling simple things like soap. And we see realize that why is she being explicit about this soap? It's soap now. It means for you to rub it on your skin and used to wash your skin. But the next way she will pass it around herself, the way she will be looking into the camera, before you know it, means to be like, wow, what's going on here? So I would say parents, schools, and even governments are struggling to keep up, and sometimes they aren't keeping up at all. This isn't about a moral panic, or there's not some parents begin to panic that my children could be victim of these things, or my children could be consuming this content. No, this is actually a call for us to talk about how it affects our health, how it affects relationships, and how it affects family. Because if it affects family, which is the smallest unit of the society, it needs to affect the nation at large. So if it affects their health, imagine the persons begin to keep to themselves, begin to experience things like isolation, begin to practice unhealthy sexual practices. Before you know it, it will affect the family. It will affect their relationship with people, affect their relationship with themselves, affect their relationship with their siblings, because they will feel like, oh, I need to keep to myself. There's no need keeping to people. There's no need trusting people. People will always mess you up. So I would say that The reality of this explicit exposure today is that they are now more easy access, and they are free, they are unregulated, and these contents are online. These children have access to these devices. I remember I shared some times ago that I stumbled on a particular girl YouTube video, and she was saying that, oh, she started watching explicit content at the age of 12. And I was like, 12, where did she get access to a phone? Because at that time, phone was not a general thing to use. It's like, oh, our parents got a desktop that they all have access to, and there's always internet on that desktop. I know all these advertisements, all these pop-up on screen. A particular pop-up came, and she clicked on it, and it led her into videos upon videos of explicit content. So she consumed this content for more than 8 years of her life, and she did not have friends. She did not really like talking to people. She loved keeping to herself. She began to experience isolation, depression, mental health issues. She feel like, oh, she can do it by herself. She began to practice these things. I'm going to imagine, oh, maybe her stepbrother can come and sleep with her, or her brother. Like, begin to think of things that are not normally supposed to be thought about. So these are the issues because of the easy access and free flow of unregulated content online. And there are also unrealistic expectations about sex, about bodies, and about relationships. You begin to feel like you now begin to realize that, oh, body autonomy is no longer being followed, because you're like, I can touch my neighbor anyhow, I can talk to my neighbor anyhow. What's there? Nobody can regulate me. Really? People can regulate you. And consuming this kind of explicit content, it has an impact on behaviors of adolescents. It leads to addiction, it leads to risky experimentation, and sometimes they begin to objectify their fellow gender or their own gender. Imagine a guy watching a video of how he's maybe of sleeping with a pregnant woman. Before he knows, begin to imagine himself sleeping with a pregnant woman and will not mind seeing a pregnant woman and sleeping with them, although the pregnancy is not theirs, or they're not married to the pregnant woman. These are the issues that end up coming out. And it also leads to emotional fallout. There are things like shame, secrecy, beginning to affect their self-esteem, their self-image, their self-personality, because, they've consumed this content so much that they begin to have multifaceted personalities. We begin to have multifaceted personality. And this is the harmful, effects of consuming this role. I would say social media has its role to play. Social media has also hypersexualized content in views, in dance videos, in challenges. There are a lot of challenge around, that try to sexualize people to like the female gender, the male gender, and there are pressure for likes. A lot of people do this content because they want more likes, more comments, more engagement on their posts. And I'm like, are these things enough for all these things you say you want? All these things you want are just for a while. Just for a while. Okay, and also there are also like filters and body image issues, no comparison between different culture, between different skin. A lot of people now want to maybe feel fair or look fair, so they will not mind bleaching their skin because they are black. And those that are white, we also want to tan their skin because they want to look dark and feel a certain way because they've idealized it, that persona, in their mind. And there's also the influence of influencers shaping sexual attitudes, sexual cultures, and these things are now entering into schools, entering into parents, because parents begin to feel like, what's there? Let my child consume the content to even make him know what to do. Watching explicit content is not a form of sexual education. No this, no peace. Consuming explicit content or telling your children to consume explicit content is not a form of sexual education. It is not in itself a sexual education. You are actually arming that adolescent, that child, with that information or with that content you're allowing them have access to. The minute you see your adolescents consuming this content, you're not trying to have a conversation with them. You're trying to shun that child. You're trying to say that you're an embarrassment, you're a disgrace to me. When I was your age, I wasn't consuming things like this. Really? That's not the time for you to start, pointing fingers and start accusing. That's the time for you to sit down and converse and educate them, empower them with information as regards to their sexual and reproductive health and rights. So, what can be done? There's a need for more comprehensive sexuality education in schools. Beyond biology that are being taught, there's a need for more of these things. There's also a need for more digital literacy for both parents and guardians, and also for the youth, because the youth are going to be parents soon, and they need to guide these adolescents, these children, and arm them with the right information as regards to sexual and reproductive health. Conversations around, gender-based violence, around body autonomy, around consent, understanding that, oh, the body of that person belongs to themselves, and if they don't give you authority over their body, you have no right to touch them or relate with them anyhow. And there's also a need for more open conversations, safe spaces for young people to converse about these things so they can ask questions, because these guys really want to ask questions. Young people, adolescents, are very inquisitive. Yes, they might be silent, they want to keep to themselves, but they are very, very inquisitive and they are very curious. If you tell them these things, they will consume it hook, line, and sinker. So why don't you arm them with the right information? Why don't you let them come to platform like ours and consume right content that will make them make informed decisions about their life, informed decisions about their future? That there's no point consuming this explicit content. It affects their mind, it affects their focus in school, it affects their focus at work, it affects their focus on their relationships, on families, on people that they love and hold in high esteem. It affects all these things. So I would say that there's a need for a balance. There's a need for us to acknowledge that youth are naturally curious, and there's no need for us to demoralize them, for us to make them feel bad for consuming that kind of content, or make them feel shame for being to stigmatize against them. No, that's not the time for you to do that. That's time for you to step in and guide them. As you say, guardian, parent them, guide them, talk to them, make them understand that what the impact of consuming this content is on them, on their mental health, on their relationship, even on their relationship with their family, with their friends, with people that they love, how it generally impacts them. And there's really little or nothing you can do about controlling some of these websites, because some people they make their money from creating websites like this. They make their money from people consuming content from websites like this. Even the so-called actors, people that put these videos together, also make money from putting videos like this out. So I would say porn and social media aren't going away anytime soon. But silence and denial does not make things worse. It actually worsens things. It doesn't make things better, it worsens things. So the real question is, how do we guide adolescents, how do we guide young people to separate reality from illusion? Because all those things you're saying is an illusion. It's not real. It's not real. Can a normal person in their right senses decide that they want to engage in an intercourse and decide to be recording and everybody should be watching? Nobody wants to do that. It is they want to do in secret. They want to do it from a place of honor and respect for their partner. So nobody will openly be doing that kind of thing. Nobody will openly do that kind of thing. So I will end with this question. Do you think parents and schools are doing enough to protect young people, at this digital age from sex, young people of digital age of sex and relationships? Do you think parents and schools are doing enough to prepare young people for this digital age? To prepare young people about the kind of content that we have online? Do you think parents are doing enough? Because some parents are actually doing nothing. They're just allowing their children to just grow. They believe that, the teachers will teach them in school, or their religious leaders will teach them in church or in mosque, and they're not teaching them, then that's fine. Or some begin to see that, my child is still a child. I don't think he will know things like that. And I'm like, really? Your child is still a child, but your child is growing. Your child has blood flowing through their veins. Your child is feeling a certain emotion. The brain is fully forming. And these emotions are natural and normal and can lead them to take decisions they don't want to take. And the consequence of these things, you might not like it. So I'll say, I'm adding this conversation to you. And I would like you to think on these things and also drop your comments down below so that we can dive more into conversations like this and let parents sit up. Guidance, sit up. This is a call for you to sit up. You have more work to do. If you think you have been doing a lot of work, you can still do more. You can still do more. I hope I helped you in this video. Please don't forget to like, don't forget to share, don't forget to subscribe and do those good stuffs. I will see you guys in the next one.